Yo guys, what's going on? So today we're going to be talking about a very interesting player that really caught my eye during the summer league, and that is Scottie Barnes. Man, when he was playing against the Rockets, I'll tell you, his offensive game wasn't really there, but his defense, man, his defense just stood out. And especially in today's league, the way the game is played, if someone's defense stands out, you know you got something special on that end of the floor. So after watching that game, I decided to go back and watch all the Raptors' previous games, and I started watching the rest of their games later on. And what I saw from Scottie Barnes was something special, man. This guy is so naturally gifted with how tall he is, with how lanky he is, and pretty much how fast he can flip his hips, how fluid he can move. It is ridiculous how much of a natural born defender Scottie Barnes is, and is honestly spectacular to watch. I've never been so enamored by watching someone play defense. And watching Scottie Barnes throughout the summer league, I just couldn't help but see a version of Kawhi Leonard. Now, I'm not saying he's going to be exactly like Kawhi Leonard, but whenever I watch him play, it's like watching a version of Kawhi Leonard, and that just gets me super excited for his potential and his future. So let's just break down his stats real quick. I harped on his defense, and in the Rockets game, I did say his offense was a bit lackluster, and his stats kind of proved that. You know, he shot roughly 41% from the field, and then only 27% from three. That is worrisome, but at the same time, you know, that's one of the problems that Kawhi Leonard faced when he entered the league, was he wasn't really an offensive minded player. And the other comp that I love for Scottie Barnes is actually Patrick Williams, who also went number 4 last year. And to me, their games are very similar because they're athletic, they're tall, they're lanky, and they play really good defense, man. Play really good defense. Speaking of defense, he averaged 1 steal and 2 blocks in every single game. Pair that up with his 16 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 assists, and you're looking at someone who's just going to stuff the stat sheet night in, night out. So without context, those stats kind of seem just like numbers, right? So let's get into the more advanced side of things. So over the course of 4 games, this is actually pretty incredible. Scottie Barnes' offensive rating was 111.1, and his defensive rating was 93.7. That is insane. For someone who wasn't really known for his offense, and for someone who was supposed to be spectacular in defense and is showing how spectacular he is, these ratings are like really nuts. And I'm sure all Raptors fans know, going into the draft, a lot of people thought that they would get Jalen Suggs. Well, let's just look at Jalen Suggs' rating. His offensive rating is 98, and in this case, Scottie Barnes' offensive rating is better, and his defensive rating is 104.2, and Scottie Barnes has, again, a better defensive rating. It's crazy to think that someone who had such, high question marks is able to impact both sides of the ball really, really well when he's on the court. And now let's look at Mr. Cade Cunningham's offensive rating, defensive rating. He clocked a 98.3, which is good, but Scottie Barnes was way better. And his defensive rating, for someone who I thought was actually pretty good on defense, was only 102.4. Now, I'm not saying that Scottie Barnes is going to be better than Cade Cunningham, or he already is better than Cade Cunningham, but these are reasons to be super excited about what Scottie Barnes can do when it comes to the real NBA. Something that flew under the radar, especially in the draft process, about Scottie Barnes was his ability to be a playmaker. Something that really flashed in the summer league was his ability to dish the ball to his teammates and they score buckets. Or if not that, then the pass to the pass to the assist, or the pass to the pass to the pass to the assist. Basically, it seemed like Scottie Barnes was at the crux of the Raptors' offensive ball movement. And that is something that cannot be calculated in stats, but his offensive rating of 111.1 really show why he was so good when he was on the court and why the Raptors were kind of okay when he was off the court. His playmaking and his ability to catalyzed the Raptors offense, it really gave Scottie Barnes the label of point forward. Now that's not something that Kawhi Leonard has in his bag, but it is something to be very intrigued by, because if Scottie Barnes can embody this point forward role, the Raptors have just won the draft. I mean, they initially thought they were getting a player who's going to be elite on defense and has to work on his offense, but now you're getting a player who has the potential to be one of the best offensive players in the league and already looks like one of the best defenders in the league. That's a steal. Now let's not get a little ahead of ourselves. Let's kind of backtrack and see how Scottie Barnes is going to fit into the Raptors offense and their defense and the lineups. So the Raptors are honestly a decent team. They have Fred VanVleet, who I honestly love. He saved my fantasy basketball team last year because this guy was absolutely ridiculous. Then they have Gary Trent Jr., who's one of the best three-point shooters in the league and honestly has a very good offensive repertoire. OG Anunoby, in my opinion, is one of the best up-and-coming two-way players in the league. And pair him up with the potential of Scottie Barnes, man, you might have the best young two-way duo in the league outside of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. That is something to be excited for. So you also have Pascal Siakam, you have Chris Boucher, Precious, you have Malachi Flynn, you still have Ish Wainwright, who I thought was pretty good, and Goran Dragic. We'll see what they do with him, but overall you have a pretty good roster. But the thing that excites me the most is the fact that the head coach is Nick Nurse. He's already dealt with coaching Kawhi. He knows exactly what's going to work, what's not going to work, how to put Scottie Barnes in the best possible position to succeed, to make an impact on the defensive end and the offensive end. And that's why I really think Scottie Barnes is going to become the face of the Toronto Raptors. So thank you for watching my video. On the left hand side you'll see a video about the Knicks and their young players. On the right hand side you'll see a video about who I think the 2022 MVP will be. If you want to say something, comment down below, smash the like button, and please subscribe. See you later.